much. And I too would like to thank the staff. I know this has been a very, very long journey for them and with many twists and turns, and now we've come to this moment of decision. I simply do not understand the argument that we don't need rental housing, that we've got all the rental housing we need, and we've had plenty of rental housing built in the past, and it's all expensive, so why are we doing any more? That's clearly not true, and it's clearly not what the citizens of Vancouver want, and it's clearly not what the citizens of the West End want. The citizens of the West End have been very clear. I want to remind Councillor Carr that we had an election really over this issue. We were very clear during the next election that we were going ahead. We had people who went into the election against us, not only for the position of mayor, but for councillors. We had one councillor who used to sit in your seat who was absolutely against housing like you are in the West End, and spoke out and spoke out and spoke out, and she lost her seat, and you got the seat because of that. The others who ran against us, who said no more housing in the West End, lost. All of them lost. There wasn't one. We won in a very big way because people want rental housing. They need rental housing. There were only 36 people who came to show up at this particular public hearing. In the terms of the hearings that I've been at in the last many years, it was relatively small, and it was a very small group in a very small area, those people who are directly affected. And of course I understand that. Where I live in the West End, I too have a view, and if a building was going up in front of me, I would come out and say, please don't build that. But when you go into the West End, as you know, and I know, you don't own the view in perpetuity. You have it for a time. You've been given it for a time, and you're very lucky, but things can change, and obviously that was the case for many people who own single-family residences there for years and years, and all of a sudden found what we have today, towers, and those are gone. The views changed. And I understand that that is going to be difficult for some people right there, and they wish that it didn't change. But as the mayor suggested, we're so fortunate in the West End. You walk one block and you're on the seawall. How many people in Vancouver have that luxury? Very few. I used to live in the east end of Vancouver. I'd travel for over half an hour just to go down there to walk in the seawall. Now I'm 3 minutes away from the seawall. So will those people be. But the big point is, and the main point is that we need rental housing. And we need market rental housing. We do need subsidized housing as well, but as you know, it's very difficult to arm twist the federal government who aren't interested, the provincial government who aren't interested. There's no way we can achieve the one-third right now until we get them involved. Maybe after this next provincial election with so many friends of the Green Party and Vision in power, maybe we'll have some change and we'll get some more housing. So I just am delighted that over the past couple of terms, we've been able to turn this rental situation around. It was absolutely stagnant. There was nothing being built, except, as Councillor Affleck likes to point out, there were condos being built, but that's not purpose-built rental housing, and that's precisely what we need, so that people are no longer in danger of just getting tossed out when the aunt decides to move into the condo. So, Mr. Mayor, I think that you'll find in the next election from the West End there'll be a resounding vote of approval. Well, we won't have 3 votes, and that's an election. I think you'll find in the West End that the West End will come out very strongly, because they don't want just these. We need more. We need new rental housing, but not just in the West End, all over our city. And our intent is to continue to build rental housing, because that's precisely what our polling and that's precisely what people in the streets tell us. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.